These are the DZO Arles Cinema Prime lenses, and if you've been looking for a budget, full-frame cinema lens, look no further. These are your lenses. Your search is done. Just to be upfront, DZO did send me these lenses on a loaner. I reached out to them. I said, hey, I really want to test these out. They sent them out. Let me keep them for, a few months. And I just wanted to really put them through the test, see how they actually hold up. And I'm happy to say they held up. I don't want to waste your time. Let's get right into why I believe that these are the best budget full-frame cinema lenses. First and foremost, let's talk about price. So a single lens is about $2,149 US, or for a 5 lens like the A set, it's $9,700 US. And you might say, oh wow, that's super expensive. It is 1,000% cheap. If you say that's expensive, you need to quit the crack and you need to get out a little bit and, just stop the delusion, because $2,149 or $9,700 is crazy cheap for lenses like this. And if you think that's expensive, maybe it's because you don't understand why, and that's what we're going to be getting into. It really puts it in perspective how cheap and budget-friendly these lenses are when you compare it to something like an Arri Signature Prime, which for a single lens, for one lens, is $27,000. So, perspective is really, really good. And obviously the Signature Primes are the best of the best. Like, they are perfect in every way. But I've seen some videos comparing the Arles and even like the Vespids, the DZO Vespids, to the Arri Signature Primes, and they're pretty dang close. So, 2,000 compared to 27,000, pretty good. So what makes it actually worth these lenses and so budget friendly? So the biggest thing for me, at least, is the fact that these lenses open up to a T1.4. Crazy fast lens, crazy fast. In the world of lenses, to be able to open up even just one more stop, to go from a 1.4 to a 2, that costs a lot of money. That's more glass, that's more technology, it's like a lot more. So, most lenses are like a 2.8, that's like on average. So to have 2 extra stops of light, a 1.4 to a 2.8, that should be worth way more than what these actually are. So again, for $2,000 to shoot at 1.4, crazy. And there are some exceptions, like with the 14mm that opens up to a 2, and with the 180mm that opens up to a 2.4. But the lenses that you're going to be using on a regular base, the kind of the go-tos, what you'll regularly be using, all open up to 1.4. And yes, the footage is still absolutely gorgeous all the way open at 1.4. You get that crazy, beautiful bokeh, that creamy fall off, that extreme fall off, but you also still get that sharpness. You still get a sharp image that you can pull focus and you don't get muddy, the image doesn't get muddy. And what's really nice is you aren't sacrificing any focal lengths. They have 10 lenses total in the Arles Primes, all the way to 14mm up to 180mm. A concern of some people is that these lenses are bigger. And for me, at least, I personally like a beefier lens. I like something that adds some weight to the camera to get rid of those little micro jitters. And then just whenever I'm operating, especially if I'm doing any sort of pulling focus for myself, I can really hold on to that lens and I can grasp it like a full grasp and be able to operate the camera and pull focus. Little lenses are great for different things, but I really like big, beefy lenses that have a lot of glass in them, because glass just makes an image better. And they weigh on average 1,650 grams, unlike the DZO Vespids on average weigh 900 grams. So pretty big difference. All right, so here's something that I feel like rarely gets talked about, I don't see this much, is the number of blades, the iris blades inside of the lens. The Arles Primes have 16, and the Arri Signature Primes have 11. There's something about having, at least from my experience, and I'm sure there's a reason why Arri didn't put more in the Signature Primes. I don't know. From my experience, the more leaves, like the blades of your iris, the creamier and smoother that bokeh is going to be. Older lenses that have less blades get like a octagon shape sometimes, and there's like more hard edges. And so when you have more blades, more leaves in your iris, it creates a softer, smoother circle in your bokeh. Now for the final, most important thing overall is just how does the image look coming out of these lenses. That's the most important thing. If it's an expensive lens or a cheap lens, all it matters is how good it looks, truthfully, at the end of the day. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt that the image coming out of these looks absolutely incredible. I shot some of my favorite projects that I've ever shot, on these lenses. And I did add, just so you know, I shot all of these on the Red V-Raptor X 8K, and had a Prism Lens Effects Dream filter in front of it. And so there's gonna be a little bit more bloom, a little bit more softness than you would normally get with just the regular Arles. But still, absolutely gorgeous image. And my poor first AC, he probably was cursing my name the whole time because I was opening these up all the way to 1.4 a lot because it just looks so damn good. So good. And I couldn't stop opening it up because how much that fall off was there. And so, like I said, some of my favorite projects I have filmed on these lenses. I absolutely love them. So yes, 100% recommend these lenses if you want a budget full frame cinema lens. And it's, again, crazy that it is a 1.4. It's a full frame lens. It's meant for full frame Vista Vision, a massive sensor, for only $2,149. Or $9,700 for the A set. I think it's like $11,000 something for the B set, but you know, that's like where the 14mm comes in and stuff, and a little more specialty. And I think that's where the 180 is as well. So a little more specialty, not something you necessarily need. You can 100% get away with the A set, $9,700, absolutely insane. And again, if you say that that is expensive, you're wrong. I hate to break it to you, but you're wrong. Wrong. If for some, wild reason you get a wild hair and you want to buy these lenses, I actually just got on the B&H affiliate program, which is super cool. I'll leave a link down below for the 5-lens kit and maybe some of the other ones. And, if you choose to so use those links, it'll benefit me a little bit, be able to, help doing all this stuff with content creation. So again, really hope that it helps you to make a decision. That's the most important thing at the end of the day. Buying more expensive things is always a little bit scary, and having somebody that has used them and can, actually review them and talk about them is a good thing. Whether you use my link or not, don't care. Like I said, all it does is just helps me a little bit more to be able to do more of this stuff. So appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like and comment. If you have any questions, leave them down below. And as well, follow me on Instagram, Josh Miller DP there as well. Love to help you in any way that I can in your cinematography and filmmaking journey. And I'll see you on the next one.